Where watches do not act like traditional investments is that they can be highly illiquid and highly speculative. So there's been this emerging trend to, obviously over the past 5-6 years, hype up certain watches and certain brands to try and make quick sells. And I'm sure most purchasers and most collectors have come across this trend, especially on social media over the past 5 to probably 8 years. And that has created a lot of speculative bubbles in the watch market, which has caused a lot of buyers that aren't retailing or they aren't reselling at a hyper fast rate to fall into really bad traps where they make purchases that they cannot afford, and then they cannot afford to keep the watch thereafter because it's lost all its value. And this happened with even some of the big brands like Rolex. After this COVID boom, a lot of the prices of the watches dropped dramatically, and newer entrants or people that thought they were buying a luxury item are sitting with a timepiece that they can't afford. They have to get rid of it because they weren't planning for a long-term investment, and now they are sitting with cash flow and liquidity issues. So generally treat watches as highly illiquid. Don't be buying, or don't treat it as an investment that's got some liquidity or cash flow element attached to it. A watch is not there to actively create income for you. It's not an active income generating asset. It's a passive asset and not necessarily income generating. It depends on your use for it. But whether the watch is an investment is going to depend on a bunch of different behaviors rather than these traditional classes of risk, liquidity, brand and market depth, etc. It's rather going to be focused on watch trends themselves within the watch market without comparing it to other assets. And this is really going to shape buyer behavior going forward, and it will probably change the perception of whether watches are investments or not into the future and into the coming years, which is an exciting prospect. I think where watches also aren't like traditional investments are because they have a certain function attached to them that's different to a traditional investment.